Hello, welcome back here to Versus Live, brought to you by Star City Games and Carnox Chairs. Make sure you check out carnox.com/SCG if you want one of these.
Carnox.
They are great.
They're seats for your butt.
That, of course, is Todd Anderson saying whatever he really wants to.
Yeah.
He's out of here in a couple months.
Yeah, dude. What's it called when the senioritis? I'm out of here. So we played 2 matches so far. Had a lot of sweet games. First matchup, we had a Dreadhorde Arcanist deck battling against Thopter Sword deck featuring Goblin Engineer and Urza. The Thopter deck actually was really resilient out of the sideboard and won 2 out of 3. Next up, we had Esper. Called it Unearthed, but it was a Monster Mentor deck facing off against Jund with Ren and 6 from Alley Warfield, and Jund took it down.
Yeah, two close matches so far. Both went to the 3 games. A lot of games coming down to just top deck wars. Both your decks had some really powerful top decks.
Sure.
I was able to get there in one game with a top decked Snapcaster or top decked Unearthed 4 Snapcaster Mage, 4 Fatal Push with a Mentor on the battlefield.
That was dirty.
Yeah, so some good top decks both ways. But we are moving on to the last match, and that is going to be Black-White Obliterator, which is what Todd will be playing, versus Green-White Infect. So the Infect deck is different than ones you might have seen before. We don't have Blighted Agent. Mm-hmm. But we have a lot of ways to get through blockers with our ground creatures because Blighted Agent has been replaced by Ichor Clawmere.
Yeah, and that, even though it's not technically unblockable, it is hard to block profitably. And if you put a Rancor on it, you shouldn't block it because it just gets bigger.
So we got Trample to go over the top with Rancor. We have Giver of Runes to both protect our creatures preemptively and get them through blockers.
Yeah, and that... When I played the deck I played it for a couple leagues last week. The one thing I found with Giver of Runes is that making your creature unblockable was arguably better than the protection aspect. It's just very strong.
It is. It's definitely. This is the deck that sort of uses both modes, much more so than any other. And then we've got the very explosive Scale Up. So several new cards in this list, giving a new twist on the old Infect deck. We've got some more explosive kills, I would think, and then. You're hoping to sort of compensate for being worse at getting around creatures with the Giver of Runes, which also helps against removal. And then, where it ends up on the balance is hard to tell, but we're going to find out now, because Todd is playing a deck with a ton of creatures.
Yeah, not only a ton of creatures, a decent amount of interaction as well. I'm playing this Black-White Obliterator deck, and now, if you look at the deck list, and I'm sure it's on Cardboard Live right now, you can look along with me, because honestly, I'm still new to this deck, and I'm just kind of learning it myself. But a lot of creatures that are quite powerful at both attacking and blocking, things like Kalitas, Trader of Gat, Phyrexian Obliterator itself, even Gifted Aetherborn on the 2-drop slot to play defense.
Really good one playing defense against this deck. I can't really just pump my creature out of range. So going to be very good against the Rancor draws where I'm trying to just get in and win with trample damage.
Yeah, so this matchup should be pretty interesting because I have quite a bit of interaction and in the both discard vein as well as spot removal vein and even blocking in some respects. So
Lingering Soul's still a very good blocker.
But my experience with the Infect deck, I actually beat this deck on Magic Online last week, the one time I did play it, and I beat them in 2 games that lasted around 10 turns each. Where they basically knocked me down to nothing, but I just had so few land drops, and the card Giver of Runes was just so powerful against their generic spot removal. Like, they have to target it first, and with Path to Exile being one of the spot removal spells they play, oftentimes you get to or if you target Giver of Runes, it just gives them the extra land they need to combo kill you. So
typically I would think this matchup would favor Infect, but I'm not sure exactly how the shift from the old Simic list to now Selesnya list will affect how good you are at getting through blockers, because you have enough removal that I'm going to want to keep my Giver of Runes back a good amount, or you're just going to kill the Giver of Runes, and then it might be hard for me to get through a blocker or two.
I think the biggest thing with Giver of Runes is it just lets you untap with your creature. That's all it ever does. It never actually protects your creature from something. It literally lets you untap with it, or it dies, or it gives your thing unblockable. Like, I have yet to have someone target my creature with 2 different removal spells and give her protection from the first, but not the second. That just doesn't really happen that often.
Yeah, no, I agree. But this Infect list is certainly less, I think a little bit less linear, even though you have probably more turn 2 kills than the Simic list.
I mean, you have Path to Exile yourself, right? Like, that's a pretty big... Like, it's pretty weird to see that in an Infect deck. Even though they used to play some Dismember, that was mostly to kill Melira back when Melira was around. And Spellskites, yeah.
So we can. I think this deck has a little bit more capability of playing that longer game, like you said, while also playing the shorter game. But the Simic Infect deck would often set up those like turn 4 kills through removal, turn 4 to 5, maybe turn 3, like in that range. I don't think this deck does that as well, and does it, or at least does it as straightforwardly. But I think you win a lot more on like the turn 2 to turn 3, and then the turn 6 plus games, which is pretty interesting to have you pushed into both extremes.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's go ahead and get to the games. If you have any questions for Ross or myself or for Director Rob, make sure to at Star City Games at CG Tour in the chat. He's going to be picking his faves and asking them when we got downtime, either shuffling because we have a million fetch lands or whenever.
Seems a little bit on the slow side, but I have draws that could make it significantly better, and it's quite good against removal and blockers. So I think being good against interaction is pretty important. You good?
My hand is very good.
Okay, well, I'm going to start on Giver Runes.
Okay. I think I want to go ahead and get this land down since doesn't matter. Like, unlike Mother of Runes, we have 0 interest in just immediately killing the Giver. And with Rancor in the deck, our life total matters quite a bit. Now they can protect each other, so now we have to kill one of them at least.
Probably the one that's not summoning sick.
Yep. Let's play a Pluto Delta. I'm going to go ahead and push the old one.
Yep.
Your turn.
Okay, I might have just lied.
I just dead.
So let's play the Ink Moth there. And... or activate the Ink Moth, I mean. And then I'll Rancor it.
Okay, sure.
And just get in for 3.
Yeah.
So you take 3 poison, and then on the end step, this falls off, and when it dies, it comes back to my hand.
That is true.
And pass the turn.
During end step, I'm going to fetch Shock and pass the Giver of Runes. I do not like giving him a land. Do I only have one Godless Shrine in my deck? I need to double check. I might not be able to do this because I have a Godless Shrine in my hand. Never mind. I got it.
Can't imagine you only have the one.
But. 17. Razor's Thicket, also a phenomenal card in the deck. Keeps you from taking damage, and since you're not playing Becomements, you don't have to fill up your graveyard with fetches. So you just got to play dual land. Doesn't do you no damage.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
So you're at 17 life, 3 poison?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to shock to 15.
Yep.
I'll play a Gifted Aetherborn. Say go.
So Todd repping here a 3rd removal spell. That was really good. Think you're dead.
All right.
I'll go to 17. Just want to make sure I have all my mana up first.
Yeah.
So I don't get caught. Activate.
Mm-hmm.
And Might.
Yep.
And Rancor.
Yep.
And 7U.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I had Blossoming Defense, Mutagenic Growth.
Yeah.
I drew the defense that turn, so...
There was no spot there where I could have used Kaya on the Giver of Runes and then held the path for the Ink Moth, but even if I had, he still had Blossoming Defense, so there was very little I could ultimately do. And that's literally the strength of Giver of Runes. Because he had Giver, I literally had to spend my removal to kill those instead of holding them for the Ink Moth Nexus. And then on the turn that Ross goes for the kill, I'm just out.
Yeah, it's effectively a 1-mana Spellskite that also lets your creatures get through blockers if it survives.
Right.
It's easier to kill than Spellskite, but costing 1 is such a big difference than 2.
Completely agree.
I know.
Can we play one more pre-board? We might be able to play 5 if we just like keep the pace going.
Sure. I literally just talked about how this deck wasn't going to have those straightforward turn 4 kills through interaction, and that's exactly what I just did that game. That was just turn 4 through 2 removal spells.
Yeah, I do. When I was playing the deck, that was. The card Scale Up does so much infect damage that you rarely need another pump spell with it. Like, obviously, if you want to kill them from 0 to 10, you want to have one more. But, like, pretty often you get in with, like, a Rancor chip damage and then, like, or Noble Hierarch, and then all of a sudden Scale Up is just lethal by itself.
Yeah.
And with Protection with Blossoming Defense, you're not forced to play it as the pump spell, so you get to use that as protection. And when you're playing against Path to Exile, like you said there, you just have enough mana, like, at all times to do whatever you want.
Yeah. Effectively, Scale Up is like your Become Immense.
Yeah, but you just don't need to play anything before that, which is huge.
It comes online earlier. It's a little bit worse, but it comes online earlier. It doesn't require you to, use your graveyard at all. Yeah. I did keep a hand there that only had the one pump spell, the Might, and then just drew, Rancor, Mutagenic Growth, Blossoming Defense off the top, which was nice.
Yeah, but you killed me with 2 in hand because of Giver Runes. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I have a kind of a bad one, so I think I'm going to toss it back. Robbo, hit me. Well, the hand's really good, but I need the land. So.
Do you think that the ley lines being reprinted in Standard will have a large effect on that format?
On Standard? No. I mean,
historically, they haven't.
Yeah, I mean, Leyline of Sanctity was okay when it was in Standard because it bricked off, like, Burn or whatever, I think. If I'm remembering that correctly. Like, some of the Jace the Mind Sculptor decks played it because Burn spells actually targeted the player and then was redirected to Jace, and so you could just protect your Jace from Lightning Bolt, which was also in that format. So stupid.
If we get Devotion coming back, then maybe.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a chance that the green one's actually just good, right? The green one does something
when you
really
tap
weird.
A creature for mana, you add an extra green.
Yeah, that card could be really good if you have like a bunch of Paradise Druids and Elvish, or sorry, not Elvish Mystic, but Llanowar Elves.
Also, like lets your Nissa lands tap for even more mana.
Sure.
So when you turn 5 a Nissa, when you play Nissa with that and untap the land, if it's a forest, it'll make 3.
I'm having some mana issues here. Not sure. I mean, I guess I'm just so used to playing with Serum Vision and that kind of and Measurement Bobble.
My hand is not great here, but a deck with a bunch of discard. I don't want them all again. It's got an Infect creature and some pump spells and a protection spell, but it's just a little slow on the draw. And I think but of these 2 cards, of which we have 4 copies of each, having 3 of the 8 in our hand is not great. But that's the only issue with the hand, so it's definitely a keep.
All right, one more if you got it.
Yeah, Jazz Core wants to know, they're new to Modern and want to play Fair Magic while remaining competitive. What decks do you think they should be looking into?
Phoenix?
Yeah, is it Phoenix?
It's
maybe you don't think of it as a fair deck, but it is.
It is. I think that Phoenix actively tries to interact with the opponent and has a game plan that can be reasonably interacted with by the opponent. And that kind of fits the metrics. If you don't want to play that... Humans, yep. Humans is pretty linear, doesn't mind getting hit with a bit of interaction, has Thalias and stuff to slow down some of the combo decks. I think it's okay against the Hagak decks until that gets handled via
And if you want to be really reactive, Azorius.
Azorius, yeah. I don't mind that. I think the Jund deck is also a pretty fine choice right now, and it could end up being really good once Altar of Dementia gets banned. So
Yeah. Phoenix, Humans, Azorius. Covers a lot of your bases. Like one is like the Xerox deck. It's like creatures and removal can be proactive or reactive. Humans, like even much more proactive, really creature heavy. And then one much more, creature light, very reactive. So whichever kind of style you want. Those 3 decks are quite good and have been pretty resilient across metagame changes.
All right, I'm on 6. Eternal Inquisition.
Bottom. I didn't want to see.
What you got? 1 Infector?
Yeah.
Yeah, take it. You're up.
I guess you could take the Vines. Like that. Somewhat reasonable.
Thank you.
Pass.
I'm going to take the card that kills me. Please and thanks. Here you go.
Pass.
This is one of the classic Infect hands where you just have your one thing taken away and then your deck just doesn't function that well, but...
You're at 19.
JD.
That's rough too, because Lingering Soul is a great blocker against all these spells. Discarding to Souls was like... The perfect matchup against the way my hand was situated. 18.
Here you go. Now, if you can find a Rancor or a Giver of Runes in that Infector. But the problem is I actually have a pretty significant clock on Ross now. And he can't play an Infector at instant speed because he doesn't have Carrion Call in his deck.
14. Yeah, this is a 2-turn clock at this point. Todd shocks to 17, makes 4 more spirits.
Get a path one.
Does not change the clock at all. Though
change the clock if you draw an Ink Moth Nexus to block.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if I draw any Infector, then you just leave back a blocker, which might buy me some time. So I'll path one on instep.
Okay.
Noble Hierarch. You can go.
What do you got?
I'm at 14.
Attack for 7.
I'm at 7.
Now, this is actually kind of a funny spot. I could just die to normal damage if he has a Rancor. So, I'm going to do my best to kill that Noble Hierarch. Let's start with Collective Brutality, pitching a Godless Shrine, and I'm going to minus and target you with the discard effect. Alright, with that on the stack, I will cast Path to Exile targeting Noble Hierarch. Okay, now discard resolves. I will take Scale Up, and I'm going to cast a Gift to Eatborn and hope you don't draw a Rancor. So I'm pretty sure.
I mean, you're not dead.
Oh, you need
even if I had an extra mana and drew Rancor, you're not dead.
Sure.
You would take 10. You'd still be at 7.
Yeah, nice.
Did you draw the Rancor? No, you have 7 power in the air, so I'm dead.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's kind of one of the downsides of Infect and why it's, it's not for the faint of heart. It's an acquired taste, so to speak.
Yeah, you definitely have games like that. Now we'll do some sideboarding.
Oh, yeah. I got quite a few cards to come in. I'm sure you have a couple as well.
Not really. Shaper Sanctuary is okay.
Yeah.
I actually Spellskite is very good.
I've actually cut Spellskite from my versions, and I'm just playing a lot more Shaper Sanctuary. But I like to showcase, a lot of times I like to showcase what the original deck designer has gone with. There's a stink bug.
I don't think I want any of the graveyard hate, even though Cage does stop half of Lingering Souls, but that's it.
Yeah, don't love that.
Doesn't seem enough. None of the anti-artifact cards seem good, and the extra removal seems okay. But I don't want to have too many removal spells in my deck.
Yeah. I think it's okay to cut, to pair back on, never cut that card. If you're going to cut that, you should cut Might of Old Crochet instead. I cut Might of Old Crochet pretty regularly, cut Mutagenic Growth pretty regularly.
Yeah, I think Muta is worse than Might.
Yeah, I mean, if I were you, I would probably...
I think I just want 2 for 2. I got 3 paths in the main.
I don't mind the Spellskites. You just got to set up for a longer game, and that usually just includes having more protection and less of the medium
Vines, Blossoming Defenses, and Giver. Shaper Sanctuary sets me up for the longer game. I don't like too much protection. Does not actually set me up that well for the long game, especially against discard spells.
Sure.
Because then it just becomes fairly hard for me to kill you. Yeah, on your side, not a Spellbomb horrible. Gray Merchant, the Life Swing doesn't really do anything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it can burn you out, but I'm way more about knocking you down as opposed to building me up.
Yeah.
And I just need more interaction. I'm probably not bringing in everything. I'm just kind of lining up what I'm thinking about. So I like cutting these 4. Is there a second Spellbomb in my deck, Rob?
I don't think so. I think it's only 1.
I think it's just 1. Okay. All right, so we're going to cut these 4. I think everything else is fine. Obliterator is a pretty good clock to finish the games quickly once I kind of strip Ross of his stuff. I think Anguish Unmaking is the card I can probably get rid of. 3 mana interaction that's not constant is mediocre at best, even though it can kill Shaper Sanctuary. And then Kumbal, probably the card I can cut as well. Just usually it's going to deal you 6 damage and then I die or whatever. So probably can just do that. And I guess I'll leave in 1 Anguish Unmaking.
Seems reasonable.
Okay. What you got for me, Rob?
I've got some people wondering what you would play this weekend, if not a Hogak deck.
I like Phoenix still, but I think Jund is a fine choice. Azorius Control is a fine choice. As long as you have a reasonable amount of preparation against Hogak, whether it's some amount of main deck surgicals plus 4 Leyline or Rest in Peace or something in the sideboard. If you just look at the modern events that have been happening over the last 2 weeks, Hogak is there. There's a lot of it. there's also a reasonable amount of Azorius, a reasonable amount of other decks that are competitive because they come really prepared for the Hogak deck. And, if you just have a couple pieces of hate and a reasonable clock against the Hogak deck, like, you just beat them,
It's basically the decks that were doing well before Modern Horizons, but with a pile of Graveyard Hate so that they can, check the Bridgevine deck. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing a good amount of Izzet Phoenix. We're seeing the Azorius control deck week after week. Saw Eldrazi pop up last weekend, but that was already coming back in small numbers beforehand. And I think it gets better even now because Chalice is quite good against the Hogak deck.
Yeah, if they're on the play and they turn 2 Chalice, it's on 1. Like, it's really hard to win.
Yeah.
You need, like, Altar, a million Blood Gas, and then, like, some bridges. Like, you can't discard stuff anymore, so you just need basically Altar and Blood Gas to do all of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, and that's tough to do. Yeah. Sometimes you can Vengevine, too, if you hit those and just cast your creatures into the Chalice. Yeah. But it's definitely a tough sledding against Chalice the Void, so Eldrazi is another reasonable one. So,
yeah, I mean, we discovered Chalice was insane against the deck last Thursday when we did the ban gauntlet versus the Hogak deck, and the Eldrazi deck was the only one that even put up a fight really against the Hogak deck, and Chalice the Void was a huge contributor to that.
Yeah.
So if the colorless Eldrazi deck and that is not banned is good, it is almost solely because of Chalice the Void. All right, game number 3. 6, 7.
Can I keep a hand without an infect creature?
Usually, no. But if you have like Giver and Noble, yes.
A bunch of protection in this hand and removal to slow Todd down to give me time. Just sort of the things that you want when you need to dig for an infect creature, but there was only 12 in the deck. 12 in 53 cards means I'm not expecting to see one. I'm not a favorite to see one in at least 4 cards, if not 5. So we're not killing before like turn 7. That's just not tenable.
So there are situations where I would keep hands like that, especially if you're on the draw. But on the play, I think you can sneak down like a Glistener Help before a discard spell. And it's worth mulliganing just to try to potentially do that. Plus, if you just have like 2 Infectors, that's pretty good. Like if your hand was like Giver Runes, Noble Hire Rancor, 1 Pump Spell and some lands or something, I think that's like a fine hand.
There's 2 lands, Giver, 2 paths, Vines, Blossoming Defense.
Yeah. I think Shaper Sanctuary also changes the nature of those types of keeps as well. Like you can probably keep a couple of Shaper Sanctuary, Giver Runes hands.
Yeah.
So tagging onto your liking, is it Phoenix? How do you two feel about Aria of Flame right now?
Very good.
It's nuts. I mean, I think that it pretty cleanly replaces Pyromancer Ascension in the deck just because it's way easier to turn on, and it can aggressively attack Planeswalkers that, like Nar said, is really good against you normally, but because of Aria, a lot of times you just have this way to handle it without much trouble at all.
Yeah, you also have Magmatic Insight for Planeswalkers, but yeah, Aria being, I think, is just now the consensus 3rd threat in the deck.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry hit the nail on the head with his list. The Lava Darts, I think, are the only thing that's really in contention for me as far as potential cuts. I like Flame Slash quite a bit. I had 2 in my deck over Lava Dart in my MCQ deck, and I liked it a bunch. I played against the Mirror once or twice, and Flame Slash was an all-star for killing Thing in the Ice, which is a huge card for the Mirror.
The most important card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Surgical handles Phoenix so well.
Yeah. Every time I played a Mirror on camera, all the commentators are talking about Pyromancer Ascension being the trump. And it is the trump in the late game, but Thing is what wins in the early game.
I mean, that's certainly true. I mean, I'm as a commentator, I just want to say, like, I have a lot of experience on both sides, and when both players can handle most of the threats, the thing that's not a creature is what comes out on top.
Yeah.
And Pyromancer Ascension dominated in a lot of those situations, but only because they were able to handle Thing in the Ice.
Yeah, it's a mirror match that gets played in stages. Stage 1 is Thing, stage 2 is Recurring Phoenixes, and then stage 3 is Pyromancer Ascension or whatever the tertiary threat is.
Mm-hmm. All right, how's your 6? That good, huh?
Well, my first 6 did not have any lands, and this 6 has an Inkmoth Nexus. It might be good enough.
Just go to 6 again, man. Come on. You got any more questions while Ross remulligans?
Well, we were going to get it destroyed.
Yeah, I don't want to play that. I'd rather just not play that game.
Yeah. It had Noble Hierarch and protection and pump spells, so if I draw a green source early, like on turn 2, I think that hand's pretty good.
Sure.
But I was not.
Do you think that there is a good, fair Neoform deck in the format?
No. It's just a weird card. Like, I never once wanted to cast it when I was playing with it in Standard. And if you're not doing something completely degenerate with it, then it's not really worth having. I mean, Birthing Pod was only good because you got to do it every turn. And then once you had the initial investment in it, it didn't cost you a card. It just cost you mana or life or both.
Who is trying to do fair things with cards that tutor your library in Modern? Ever.
Goofballs. Just silly gooses. just, you know, I just want to go to F&M and play my Neoform and Eternal Witness deck to get back to Neoform. And then you Witness, and you Neoform the Witness, and you go get...
Siege Rhino.
Siege Rhino. Yeah, that's the one.
Just play 4-color, why not?
Yeah. We started on Voice, and then we got the Voice token left over.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old 4-color Neoform deck. And green, blue, white, black.
Green, blue, white, black.
Thank you, Fetch Lands.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a playable hand. I'm at 18.
I guess. I mean, Infect's probably really good when you mulligan to 6 4 times.
Yeah, you might be surprised.
Good turn.
Attack roll.
Yeah, 19.
You can go.
Sorry.
Yeah.
19, also 1 poison. I'm fetching. Tapped. Now, you don't have to worry about dying to Inkmoth Nexus too often on turn 3 because it usually requires a scale up and multiple mutagenic growths. So here I'm going to pretty safely tap out 4 Gift of Aetherborn and kind of cross my fingers that I don't die. But it happens sometimes. Or do I do that instead? I think I just play the blocker. Your turn for the Glistener. I might die this turn to the Glistener Elf, but it would require a Ranker. Okay.
Attack for 1.
Oof.
You're at 2 poison. We'll just play it slow.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to do it.
Just barbecue and Todd, low and slow.
Low and slow. Too bad. I got this. Bum, 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 bum. We drew it this turn. What's up, Ross?
I just would like the top of your deck to not be perfect. 1 draw step in any game we play
in the last 2 months.
Yeah. My hand cannot.
What do you have?
Can't beat this. I just have pump spells.
Why didn't you pump last turn instead of playing Shaper Sanctuary?
I don't have pump spells that I would have cast last turn. You can go.
Okay. All right.
Even if I had Ranker, this wouldn't even be good.
Nice. I don't know. Vines, I guess. Who knows? Here we go. I may have to attack with like 1 spirit or 2 spirits. We'll attack with 2 spirits.
I'm at 15.
I'm at 18. Your turn.
Didn't you say you just drew Lingering Souls and you just drew a second one?
Yep. Sure did.
15 to 18.
Look, next time, I'll just pair Infect versus a linear deck, and we'll just have 3 games that take a grand total of 7 minutes of playtime. I like to put the interactive decks against non-interactive decks, you know? And I'm sorry that this is the one in particular. It's not even the best play, but I just want to do it for funsies. Okay. Attack.
11 to 20.
Phyrexian Obliterator. Your turn. You need a Giver Runes or you need something to get one of your creatures through. And the deck plays 7 ways to get your creatures through. It's better than the old Simic versions that play. Sure. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You have a land? Am I dead? Is this one of those Ross just complains and then kills me? Is your other card scale up? So I'm pretty sure I'm dead if it's scale up.
You're literally not dead even if it's scale up.
I'm at 2 poison, right?
Yeah.
And that's 10, and I have 2 blockers. Because you have a mutagenic growth. 6,
it's exactly
7, 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I misread my thing. I thought you were at 1.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a second thing there. Okay. Second tally. So yeah, you would be exactly dead, but no, it is not.
Well, you should definitely attack, and if I block, you should mutagenic growth. I will block with 1.
Five. You have me at
11. Maybe I should just not block at all because I have 11 power. Hold on. That's 3. You need a +3. Yeah, you just don't have those in your deck. So I'll just take it. I'm just going to kill you. Why am I going to kill you? Probably not. So you have the vines. Yeah, I guess I'll just force you to burn a Pub Spell. All right.
So this is going to be 4 total. Yeah, I'll pay 2 life.
You're going to go to 9?
Yep, I go to 9. You so now 5 minus 1 is 4. You go to 6.
Yep.
You can go.
Falls off.
Yeah, back of my hand.
Yep. You're raw. Man, that really sucks for you that I literally just drew perfect minus. Oh no, crap. Never mind, it doesn't work. You can activate a Nexus. Alright, so he has to block. So we'll attack for 9, so he has to chump here. And we'll hold back just this. Alright, so you take 7, you're at 2.
Yep, you're at 22.
Yeah, and I get a -1/-1 counter on Gift to Aetherborn, and that's your go. Yep. Yep. Block.
Show me any removal spell.
I'm just gonna exile the Rancor.
Okay, so you had the one that meant I had no outs.
Yeah.
The one of.
Yeah.
Huh.
No. Got him.
Thought I had that game if I drew a land, but nope, never had it. Never once.
Can we get face cam? Are we doing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Very nice. Oh,
It's a land or
8
the
till. You want to call it?
nope.
03? You got 03'd. No, it's
You said we were playing 5 games.
I said we might be able to get in 5 games.
Let's go. I'll beat you twice in 8 minutes.
Do you not want to have an outro? Like, I'm cool. Just like, I'm
Shuffle
cool.
your deck.
Here, man.
Can't just tell me we're playing 5 games and then once you're up 2-1, like
I already have the marbles. I don't care. Yeah. You win. I concede 2 games.
that's not how this works.
Okay, you're the one gonna miss the bus. I got all day. Okay, I got my work done for the week already, except for verses on Thursday.
Ditto.
Actually, I need to write one more article. But I wrote an article yesterday about brought back, something like that. It's the white spell from Core Set 2020. Seems like it's pretty good with fetch lands. Another heinous interaction.
I believe that's the card that sparked the entire discussion, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Yep.
Go.
Play another noble and mush you for 2.
Yep.
You're at 18.
Here we go.
Activate.
Yep.
Rancor it.
Yep.
Mush you for 5.
Take 5.
Pass the turn.
Go.
Attack you for 2.
Yep.
You can go.
Fetch.
Don't think there's a reason for me to go for it without. So you're at 15.
Yeah, now that you drew the giver. I'm probably going to lose this game. I actually just expected Ross to go for that turn and kill me. I have... Oh, crap. Whatever. Minus on the giver. Go.
I have Rancor to force lethal Blossoming Defense for a removal spell.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, next game. Well,
Look, man, I'm
plenty of time.
I kept 5 land Kaya Lingering Souls.
Whatever you
draw,
need to tell yourself.
Because I just didn't want to take a bunch of time to mulligan because you would just complain the whole time. Look, I just hope you missed the bus. That's all I'm saying. I just want you to get max punished for making me play 2 more games when I already won.
You're the one who's making us play 2 more games. Okay?
I said we might have time for a best of 5 if we play fast, and you played really slow.
I only play one way.
Really slowly and poorly.
That's 2 ways.
Okay, poorly. Think you come out of the tank after 5 minutes of thinking and just make the 4th best play every time. 5 lander again. Okay. It was. I'm gonna keep this hand. Whatever. This hand's cool. Go.
Okay, no mulligans.
Yeah, you got to keep your 7 no matter what. You jerk. Discard. I will take Might of Old Crochet. Liliana minus. Which one do you want to lose? The Ink Moth?
Attack Liliana. You can go.
$17. Go.
Three in hand.
Yep.
You're at 17. You can go.
Thoughtseize. Might of Old Crochet. Bryce Arena. Go.
One card in hand.
Yep.
Get in for 1.
I'm at 15. 1 poison.
15 and 1. You can go.
Go to 14, and then I'm going to go to 13 from the arena. After I find a Godless Shrine number 2. Now, because he's stuck on mana, I think I'm going to maybe start attacking. Cut.
You're good.
Draw 2. Let's go push the Glistener off.
Draw a card.
Yep. Well, actually, I'm going to pump this.
15 to 18.
Go.
I'm at 13.
Yep. Might die now. It's fine.
Don't think there's any reason to play into a removal spell, so I'll just pass.
You're not going to play Giver?
No, I'm going to path this thing.
Oh, okay. Sure.
That's the way I go. So, yeah, draw your 2 cards. Path this thing.
Okay. I'm going to get a land, but I'm going to Inquisition you.
So you're at 17 from the arena.
I'll take the Giver. Or do I just take Vines? I think I just take Giver. I'm at 1 poison.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. Go.
Attack for 1.
Yep.
You're 2 poison.
Yep.
You can go.
Fetch. What does that put me at?
16.
Okay.
You got 16 and 2 poison against 15.
All right, just need to find a way to close the game. And this might be one of the spots, though, where I, don't have it at some point, and I basically pressure Ross into having to go for it. Curious how this game's going to play out.
So you got a 15. 15 all now.
Go. Okie doke. Yep.
You can go.
It's pretty good. Draw 2.
Yep, you're at 14. Good.
Thinking.
Draw a card.
Yep.
Get a forest. 1 card.
Yep. I had to get rid of the Giver now while he's tapped out because he could protect it if he needs to. Also, you can just make his Ichor Claw Mirror protection from black, and then he gets to attack. Now, at the very least, he has to go for it with Ink Moth, which requires more mana. Pretty sure I'm just going to lose, though. Shaper is very good against me. And him having to path from my Kalitas took away a lot of my clock and kind of bottlenecked me into running into Shaper.
Good.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Skill.
Sure. You got me.
4 o'clock on the nose.
Yeah, because I didn't mulligan in game 4. When I very clearly should have. Also, you mulliganed to 6 4 times in one game.
I mulliganed to 6
I got the marbles,
3 times, and you did it twice in that same game.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I don't remember. Check the tape. Check the damn tape.
Check it up right here.
Oh, yeah, you're basically a walking memory box. Anyway, what do you got for me, Rob? Or should we just be done? I don't know, man.
That's about it.
We need some subs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hit me with your best sub.
Yeah, and we can take a question.
Hit me with your best sub.
And your best question, only one.
Microbiologist 68 is
better be a good one.
4 months.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a question.
No.
All right.
Ryan
Thanks for
Possible, another 4 months.
Thank you.
Asmote for 3 months.
We
Dormo King.
Wait, should we do something whenever he calls out a sub? Like we need something to get him to sub.
We'll figure that out. We're not going to figure it out live. We'll talk about it.
We could.
No, well, that's not going to be a good idea.
Wacky
waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
Flailing tube man.
No. Keep going.
Did you really think Ross was going to say yes to that? Shadow 50 for 2 months. Wolfman 1776, 2 months in a row, 6 total. Katzi Undmeis for 2 months. Bogdan 11 for 3 months. And that's it for today. So thank you to all of our subs.
Awesome. One question.
Oh, we just got one more.
Ooh.
Gog Squad 23. Damn. Thank you for the sub.
I really wanted it to be Sloopy Gooper's Day.
It's been a bit for Sloopy Gooper's Day.
Yeah. It's been almost a month. It's coming up. All right. One question. It's got to be a good one. If it's not a good one,
we'll just close the show and shame them publicly.
Done.
Well, all right. What do you think about the 15 land Delver lists? Is that too few in Modern?
I haven't even seen them.
Okay, that's what I figured. That's all I got.
The people are playing 15 land Delver decks in Modern? How? Like a bunch of pitch spells? Is that the idea?
I know it has 4 force negation.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it only had 15 lands. I don't think so.
Is this like a Shoal Obsession deck?
I think it's just force negation deck.
I'm skeptical.
Yeah. That was a bad question, Rob.
Yeah, I'm also not a big fan of that question.
Come on, Rob.
That's not me. I mean...
Here, the open-ended question based on a deck that's brand new and we don't even know what's in it. Nice.
Okay, let's not shame them that hard.
No, I'm shaming Rob for picking the open-ended.
Yeah.
The question is fine. It's just not like a good question. Okay, I'm sorry, Rob. That was mean.
It's fine.
Okay. Well, this weekend we have SEG Pittsburgh. We are going to be playing a team modern, so make sure to come out if you can nearby. If not, make sure to check it out on this here channel right here. If you're watching this live on Versus Live, which you should be, starts 11 a.m. I believe is round 1, or 10 a.m. round 1.
10:30.
10:30 round 1. I was wrong.
Todd, you do coverage.
I do coverage. I just forgot. Okay. All right.
It's okay.
All right. You're going.
I am.
Yeah. I'm not.
I'll be playing with Team BCW.
Cool. Jim and Tannen. Nice. Yeah, I'm going to be hanging out at home, getting ready to move. I got to pack all my stuff, sort all my magic cards. I'm going to sell them. I can't carry 40,000 magic cards across the country.
Yeah, moving is horrible. I can't imagine what. I think about moving like 2 blocks from my apartment, and I
want to throw everything I own away.
Yeah.
You have no idea how
start
close
fresh.
I am. Yeah. I think what we're going to do an estate sale. I'm just going to sell everything I own. I'm keeping my TV. I'm keeping my Xbox One, my computer, and our bed, because our bed was like $1,500. It was one of like nice beds. And that's it. Everything else, come buy it from my house. You can show up. I'm going to post I'm just kidding. Please don't show up to my house. I don't want that. But that's going to do it for today's show. We're going to come back on Thursday. Not sure exactly what we're doing. Make sure to check Ross and I's Twitter, and we're going to update you all there. You are Ross Hunneds. I'm strong_sad. And this has been Versus Live from StarCityGames.com and Carnox Chairs. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on Thursday.